All right. So we are ready to go. So remember, we got to be quiet for 30 seconds.
Yep.
I'll tell you when I'm starting the. All right. I'm ready. Here we go. Starting countdown.
Spirits of French Lick is proud to introduce the Matty Gladden Bottled and Bond Bourbon. This 4-year aged bourbon is double pot distilled and non-chill filtered and has a full-bodied mouthfeel with eucalyptus, molasses, clove, ginger, and slight citrus as well as grains of paradise. The finish is long and reappearing on the back of the tongue with notes of pepper, tobacco leaf, and mint cream. All of our spirits are available for tasting and purchase inside the French Lick Winery and Distillery. Spirits of French Lick. Respect the grain, please enjoy responsibly, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah! Oh.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die. Welcome back, everybody. Woohoo! We got a special edition this week.
We are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and it's great to be back, Tiny.
Yes, it is good to be back. The last week we did the one podcast on Monday night, which was great. Did pretty good. We were doing the Heaven's Door, and this week we decided to go blind taste testing. But before that, we got a little bit to do. I'm going to do a little thing for the Spirit of French Lick, a little promo.
He's going to do a little song and dance, folks.
Right
this
off.
Is a YouTube special.
Yeah, this is right off my memory. The Spirit of French Lick is an artesian distillery in French Lick, or West Baden, Indiana, which is outside of French Lick, Indiana. And Alan Bishop and Jolie Kasper-Zak, the people that we know there. Alan Bishop is the master distiller there. And he makes some fantastic spirits. He does brandy, gin, and bourbon and whiskey. So they've got, and also absinthe. The absinthe has been, we've tasted that. That's pretty amazing. But we are going to be going there, I believe, the morning of April 22nd. We are so excited to go down there and see them taste. I picked up, when I was in Kentucky last week, I picked up the Solomon Scott. I said that. I remembered it that time. Rye whiskey that's just been released. It's not released to the general public yet. That's supposed to happen in the fall. But where I was able to pull that rye out of was a barrel pick. Shout out to Coomsey, who picked that up for me
Coomsey
at the store that did the barrel pick. So I'm excited to be trying that in an upcoming podcast. We will do a Spirit of French Lick podcast before we go down, and then we will also do a podcast right from the distillery. So if anybody, you're in the Indiana area, it's about an hour north of Louisville, 55 minutes, I believe. It's well worth the drive to check out the Spirit of French Lick. What Alan Bishop is doing there is some amazing things, and we can't wait because that whiskey has been maturing. And he really, the stuff that he's been working on is going to start to come and hit the market, and it's going to be awesome. So, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I definitely second that shout out. Thanks again, Alan, for all you do out in the Spirits of French Lick. Eventually, one of these times, I'll be able to come out and meet you also. Fortunately, I will be absent at the April 22nd meeting. I'll be down a day later to meet up with Tiny at the Log Still Distillery.
Yes, and but Super Nash has you covered for. He can't wait to get down there.
Super Nash always has me covered. It's
Yep,
awesome.
yep.
That guy's awesome. Love him too.
So we are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We are everywhere that you can listen to a podcast. We are there. Please, whatever format that you're listening to us, subscribe. That helps us out. And then also, if you want to support us, we have a Patreon account, and you can find that either from the link from our website, Scotchy Bourbon, www.
Sketch.
Yes, Scotch. www.scotchybourbonboys.com. Check that out. All of it goes over our Whiskey Live, everything, all information we update. Young Nose here has the blog,
The Scotchy blog.
that you can check out. And then also, the Patreon link is there. It's either on the website or in the top right-hand corner. Click that so you can support us. That is very important to us. As we get more and more supporters, we are getting more and more backing, which allows us to do more and more stuff, like trips to Kentucky. And that's what's going to be happening April 21st through the 24th for us, and that's going to be pretty exciting. There's going to be a barrel pick. Now, I was down there last Wednesday and Thursday, and I met up with Randy Prossi, Steve Coomsey, and then El Presidente,
Yes,
which is
El Presidente, I was just gonna
our
say
president
that.
of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And then also there was the Justins from Justin's House of Bourbon, which was pretty cool to meet them. And then I believe Steve Coombs' his friend, she was from Anchorage, Alaska, which was pretty cool. And then Emma, who is El Presidente's secretary for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, not for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
I didn't know we had a secretary.
That would have
Holy
been damn
crap.
good.
That's
Anyways,
some good PR there, Tiny.
but then the star of the show was Freddie Nell. It was just freaking awesome. Showed up, had a bunch of picks that we had to choose from the Knob Creek barrels that are aging. We were able to do a barrel pick, and then also he brought along some Jacob's Well, which is one of the newer products for Jim Beam that's going to be coming out soon. He also brought, I believe it was called Fred's Lineage. It's called Lineage, and they are working on that. And he brought what their work, the work in progress. It's not ready, but he brought us a sample of that. And then also he brought Little Book 5, Chapter 5. I've tasted it. It's amazing. Not much details on it, and it's supposed to come out, but it sure tasted good. So that's what I did last week. But I'm going to have one of my tiny talks later this week. Look for that podcast to come out about I'll just go into detail on the barrel pick, what I learned, everything about it, the barrel pick, and then also I do have some footage of Freddie talking about a couple different things. So check that out later this week. But with that said, we also, all social media, we are at the Twitter, we're at Scotchy the. We are also on Instagram, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Facebook group, Facebook page. Check out the group, join the group. We also have a live group that meets associated with that Facebook group, right?
Yes, we do. Our next meeting is actually coming up May 8th.
May 8th is our next, yes. And then the last but not least, but this is hello everybody out on YouTube. We are now trying to push YouTube a little bit harder. We're kind of trying to get some nice content out there with, good lighting with this. You'll be able to see this podcast on YouTube. Later, I'll load it next week when we're working. So tonight, last week's will hit, and then, going down the line, that's kind of how we plan to do it. So check us out on YouTube also. But with that said, tonight we have a very special surprise. We have Maker's Mark line of 6 different Maker's Mark products. We have the Maker's Mark Cask Strength, We have the Maker's Mark 101. We have regular Maker's Mark, just freshly opened. The label is actually my wife's label.
It's dedicated to Roxy.
Yes, and then we have Maker's Mark bread pudding.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum. We have Maker's 46 Cask Strength.
Now that I have not tried yet.
Me neither.
That's going to be interesting.
And then we have the Maker's Mark 2020 SE4 PRS Special Finishing Edition.
PR5.
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 Thank you. 110 proof. So, what we're going to do with this, which is really kind of cool, is we're going to blind taste them. Because I find that blind tasting takes away all marketing. Now, I know what I like on this, but usually when you do a blind tasting like this, it doesn't work out. What you think you know usually isn't what you know. So, with that said, and not much further ado, now you do have the book. Do you have that book, or is that not here?
I have the book.
Okay,
The Michael Jackson's Definitive World Guide.
Yeah.
I do have that, yes.
How do you remember the name of that book?
Because I say it every time.
Yes, you do. But what I would like to say is that in between each different, we're going to nose these first, and then we're going to taste them a little bit, and then give you a little bit of history of Maker's Mark and some of the stuff that both of us have, when we went in 2019, toured the Maker's Mark. We toured the distillery. So it's a beautiful distillery in Laredo, Kentucky. When I was down there twice. The week before I was down there on a Sunday, Monday, and then the following week, which was last week, I was down there on Wednesday and Thursday. But the Sunday, Monday, when I drove by it on a Monday and it was closed. So, but it's just such a gorgeous facility out there in Laredo. It's like when you're driving there to get there in Kentucky, you think you've gone astray at one point because you're dealing with no cell phone service and country roads that are 2-lane, but only big enough to fit one car. So that's the kind of thing that you're dealing with to get there, but when you get there, it's well worth it. It's a beautiful distillery. Now, it is owned by Beam Suntory, same company that owns Jim Beam currently, but both those companies have the families that have been running them since the start. I believe Bill Samuels is 5th generation, and Freddie No is now 8th generation. We are talking about a lot of generations of distillers. So
yes, that is a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge passed down throughout the years, and a lot of consistency that goes with that knowledge, as well as a lot of innovation, I would say.
Yeah. The first one that we're going to take, or no.
Okay, so the first one that we're going to, I have it wrote down in the list since I'm going to keep track of what we got going on here.
Oh, he's hijacking it.
Yeah, I'm
so
hijacking this one. So you're gonna have to search for yours because I just basically took the order off of how mine's sitting. So we're starting with the white.
The white album. So we're starting with the Beatles.
Correct.
All right. So let's know.
Or classic Jim Beam white label.
Yeah. Okay. But we're drinking.
But it's Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
But we have no idea which one it was. It could be one of the 6 that Tiny had mentioned.
Yep. So let's go. We got to get on this because it's 6 of them that we got to down. Stay sober enough.
It's definitely classic Maker's smell.
Caramel. Now, Maker's is all of this is what is it? A red winter wheat instead of rye.
Yes. So this would be all considered wheated bourbons. They use red winter wheat instead of rye as the secondary grain in their bourbon. I do believe it's somewhere along the lines of 80% corn. I'm not sure what.
I think you might have the mash bill. The mash bill might be in there, so don't
it's
jump the mash
possible.
bill's bill.
I do know it's 80% corn though.
All right.
I do know that.
Okay.
I remember that from the tour.
Okay.
Anyway, what are you thinking on the nose here?
I get a ton of, like I do on most wheated bourbons, a lot of caramel. I'm getting this isn't ethanol-y. There's some ethanol to this one. It stings my
It's got a
nose.
slight ethanol. It's got subtle caramel. It's very soft on the nose also.
And I get a little bit of, a grain, that grain smell. And I picked up a little chocolate. Just a little bit.
Chocolate?
Yeah, I did. Right there, on the side. If you turn it sideways and stuff. If you just in the blend, Karen. If you watch, right right as you go up and around the loop.
Okay, I do kind of get that a little bit. That's interesting.
It's there on that one.
Slightly. You gotta search for it.
Oh yeah, most of the time. Wait till once we taste these and you go back and start nosing, they might all. Usually, I find this
it'll
that
change a little bit.
even at the barrel pick when I was nosing them all, they all smelled similar. But once you started tasting, that's when the nose started to change. What's next?
The next one is gray.
A little bit subtler. Not nowhere near that much ethanol.
Yeah, and not as much caramel.
I wonder what that is.
It's almost like a freshness. Maybe even a slight banana smell.
Maybe apple?
Okay, I could see a little apple,
Like a little green apple? But much smoother than the white.
It's like
the
dried
white.
banana chips.
Can't get any. I don't get. I got some vanilla, but I'm not getting any chocolate off this one.
I get a little bit of nice wheat grain, almost like a cereal smell. So that's kind of good on the top.
Okay.
Next is yellow.
Yellow. Oh, that's delicious. Vanilla, caramel, bread. Bread pudding.
Yeah.
I'm getting bread pudding.
There's definitely vanilla on this one. I definitely get that. I even get a little bit more on the oak on this one. Maybe even a little bit of the tobacco spice.
Yeah, but I got the bread pudding.
It almost kind of reminds me of a cigar box. Just a little bit woody, a little bit tobacco sharpness. All right, next is red.
That's really caramely.
That's
Butterscotch with caramel.
I was just gonna say that's some butterscotch with caramel on that one. That's delicious.
This is going to be hard.
Well, I can tell you right now, between this and the last time that we did this blind tasting with the Old Forester line, the noses are
Different.
very different. Yes, whereas with the Old Foresters, they were very similar. It had a nice grainy, subtle caramel. They were all kind of the same as far as the nose. So I think this one's going to get a little bit interesting because we're going to be having both.
Yeah, but our
nose and tastes.
we've been opened up to. What's the next one?
The next one is green.
Green. Oh. That's fantastic too. Oh my God, that's caramely and vanilla-y.
That one's almost a little bit more herbal.
There's so much caramel and vanilla.
Definitely caramel and vanilla on the top.
Oops. All right.
But toward the bottom, it almost goes a little herbal. Maybe even like a mint. Ooh.
This one. I'm nose blind. I went nose blind.
This one's like a cherry caramel. I get a little dark.
Yeah, I get a little cherry on there too. All right.
And a splash of cinnamon on
So the order
That's
is white, gray, yellow, red,
Red,
green, blue.
Correct.
So let's just quick
taste.
taste. Holy hell! Tons of tobacco, tons of vanilla.
Oh yeah, a lot of tobacco up front.
Woo!
Vanilla, a little bit of sweetness on the
That's
back end.
that's a spicy. It's a nice hug.
Yeah,
Let's see what that finish does.
definitely got some heat.
All right. We don't have anything to clear our palates. Damn it.
We just have other whiskey.
Yep. Let's just go one whiskey to the
Alright,
next.
so gray. That one's definitely not as tobacco-y. Still has a little bit of that spice, a little heat to it,
But not as high proof.
but not as high proof. No,
All right. Let's hit this yellow.
it's not to my taste buds anyway. Yellow. Ooh, that's nice. So red next.
Yep.
That yellow's got a nice long finish, but it might just be a combination of all three. I really need some water.
Me too. Hey, I've got an idea. I'm going to make a call.
Ooh,
The first ever call on the Scotchy
he's
Bourbon.
calling and audible, literally.
Let's see. All right.
Ooh. Ooh.
Here we go.
That's kind of interesting. That red. I like that finish on that red. It's almost like a raisin cinnamon bread. That's tasty.
You're on the podcast. I need you to bring us 2 glasses of water. We were dumb and we don't have water to do this. Could you do that for us, please?
Sure.
Thank
Will
you.
I be implied in the podcast?
No, just come down, throw the 2 glasses on the bar, and come.
You can
Yeah.
be part of the podcast if you want to be.
Walk around and get them.
You don't have to. You just stay to the right, and you won't be on camera. You stay to the side. It's just that's all you got to do. Hand them to John.
I'll put them down there.
All right, thanks. Bye. It's like God. I told her she was on, and then she's just all worried about being on.
Yeah. Anyway, I like the finish on that red. The end of the taste into the finish. The linger finish is a little bit oaky, but it might just be a combination of the 5 that we've tasted already.
Before, yeah, we still have green
No.
and blue. I didn't do green.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I gotta get back to the music ending. Okay, go green.
Go green.
I can do this. There you go.
Ooh. That one's nice.
Ooh, gotta like that one.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that one. I'm almost thinking green's classic Maker's Mark.
You know, no.
What do you mean no?
No.
No.
I disagree.
Oh,
I'm thinking
no.
I'm thinking yellow was
Alright,
it.
well let's go blue. We already tasted them all. And
Go blue.
Go blue.
Oh, here comes.
Hey, here
Just
comes the
stay
water
to
to the rescue.
Just stay over there, and you won't. There we go. Uh-oh. John's losing his mic, and it's gonna.
Yeah, that's because I'm moving around.
Yeah, but don't move around.
Well, I had to collect the water. That would
Because sometimes when you lose the mic, it ends the podcast.
sometimes.
Let's not make it this time. All right, the blue. I did the green. Holy shit. that's different from all of them.
It's because we had water.
All right, that could be, but that cinnamon in there is damn good.
That one, yeah.
That's like a cinnamon, like a not a real red hot, very smooth. That's smooth. Where it's like, let me see what that nose is. I'm liking.
Anyway,
All right, the first time through, I'm gonna go with. I really liked
for your nose winner.
No, just like I like right now. I'm in the ballgame through the first time through. It would be white, green, and blue for me. I did red. I think I had too many in a row, so I'm going to revisit the red with a little bit of water.
The red one actually stood out to me, even with having no water in between the first three before red. So as of right now, my order would be red, yellow, and then white.
See, the red is oaky for me, but
that finish is cinnamon toast, cinnamon raisin.
Yeah,
toast.
now that I put some water, you should drink some water and hit that sucker. You know.
It's definitely got a strong oak, the mid palate. Not right when you put it in your mouth, but as soon as you go to swallow. But it fades away. It fades away into this cinnamony raisin toast that I get on
That I don't know what's up with the yellow one.
That's delicious.
I don't know what's up with the yellow one. The yellow one. Still, there's a lot of oak on that yellow. And the gray one is back in play. I like that. I pulled out some stuff.
It's definitely a little oaky on the yellow. I will give you that one. Not as strong of an oak taste initially as the red, but the oak lingers longer.
Now that I've had them all, try white. If you try the white, man, it doesn't taste anything like it tasted when it shocked our palates. It's unbelievable how the more and more you taste.
Yeah, that one definitely isn't as spicy or as strong as soon as after you've had a little bit. It's a shock, like you said, the shock palate kind of gets used to the fruitage. It's really hard to tell, as far as like an order on how to go with these, but with this blind tasting. So that white one is not too shabby.
Yeah, this time it's a little bit. It's definitely better. So right now I'm gonna take gray out of the picture. That's my least favorite. All right, so let's hit yellow. I'm thinking that's freaking Maker's Mark.
With the yellow one,
Yeah.
you're saying yellow is classic Makers. I'm still going with the blue as classic Makers. It's got that nice overall rounded caramel, vanilla, oak, little spice, full softness, not so much heat. I think blue is the classic Makers. But it's
No
hard
way.
for me to really pick one out that's standing out. Hold on, I gotta retry the gray. I haven't retried the gray yet.
All right, I'm gonna go yellow Makers. White is Cask Strength.
Okay. The gray's not too bad either. Okay, so I'm gonna start putting my order here.
46. Green. Red is bread pudding. I'm going to say blue is 101. Yellow is going to be the F, is the 1920, and that's what I'm going with. But what do I like? It's a lot of makers. But I am going to say, all right. It's unbelievable how oaky these all got.
I know. Like, the first time through, it was all this caramel sweetness and some vanilla. The second time, third time through, it's a lot of oak, surprisingly, on all of them. That one's just snuck in the second place.
Me too. I love blue. Blue's number one for me. It's either one or it's 101. Let's see what red is.
Okay, I got my order.
Hold on.
I just gotta finish off what's in the glass.
Blue, red, green.
Okay, I got my order. Alright, so what's your order?
Blue first. And I think that's
So, blue 1. What's next?
red,
Red 2. Okay.
green.
Green 3. Next.
I gotta taste. It's either yellow or white. Oh yeah. White.
So white 4, yellow 5,
And gray 6.
green 6. For me, I put red 1, blue 2, green 3, yellow 4, gray 5, and white 6.
I would say that the tasting of Maker's Mark, I like pretty much out of all of these, Maker's Mark and then the 20 version wasn't as good as I thought it would be when I was initially tasting these things. I like Maker's Mark. I'm not saying that I don't like Maker's Mark, but I love the bread pudding, the Cask Strength. I never tasted Maker's 46, so I don't know how that.
Yeah, that's the Maker's 46 gas strength.
And then the bread pudding, the Cask Strength, the 101, and the Maker's
Classic.
46. Those are the four that I like. So those would be like the top 4. So, are you gonna let's now really see what we know what we're doing. Let's see if we can guess. We've got what we liked, but what the blue?
Okay.
The blue I think is the Maker's 101 for me. I picked blue. I think it's Maker's 101. The red, I think, is the bread pudding. I got bread pudding when I nosed it, and I'm just thinking it's bread pudding.
Honestly, I have no idea which one is which, and to try and pinpoint which one is which, I'm not going to be able to do.
Well, don't do that, but see what I'm curious. So you wrote down the order. So blue, I just initial it so that I don't get mixed up. You don't have to, but just right it next.
So what you're saying is you're ready to reveal the blind?
No,
Is that what
I
you're
want
saying?
you just to write down so before the reveal to see how close I was if I got
Oh,
it right.
okay, on yours.
So
okay.
The blue I said was 101. My number one.
101.
The red was bread pudding.
BP, bread pudding.
Then the green, I'm gonna say was Maker's 46 Cask Strength.
Yes. Okay.
Then the white I think was Cask Strength.
Cask.
Then the yellow was the 2020, and the gray was Maker's. Now, see, I'm just saying this to show how bad I suck at this.
2020. Private select.
Yep. All right. So we're kind of ready for the reveal.
Yeah, I'm not that skilled enough or confident enough to really know.
I'm not
because
that skilled.
I
As you
don't
all
really.
find out.
I have no idea what this tastes like. I know what this tastes like, and if I had to guess which one this one was, I'm saying the yellow is classic Makers. So that's the only one that I'm going to mark as something.
Okay.
So Makers.
That's the way it works. That's the way we roll. So, anyways, so let's do the first reveal. We are going to reveal because you don't even have to do the pages. There, I believe it's on the bottoms. So,
Are you sure?
well,
Is she
I'm gonna
really
take-
in the book?
I'm going to take the Cask Strength.
Gray. No, hold on. I
Yeah.
think it's gray.
Or purple. Gray.
Gray.
So the Cask Strength was gray. Out of all of them, I did not like the Cask Strength. That was my number 6.
Ha! Ah, you were correct, my friend.
What?
With the red
What?
is the bread pudding.
Ooh.
Red was bread pudding.
So we get the red bread pudding,
All right,
yes.
so let's see here.
Well, let's look at this one. Maker's 46 Cask is yellow.
Yellow.
Was I right on that? I think I might have been. No?
No, you said the yellow was 2020 private select.
Okay. So I had the 20. Okay. So the 101 was, what color is that? What was the 101? Why is that a color that's not even on our, is that blue? It's brown.
That might be white.
Wait, you go look and see what she wrote.
She wrote gray, yellow, red, blue, tan, and green.
Where's a tan?
So tan.
So what was, wait, what was gray?
Hold on.
Okay, what was the Cask Strength? White? Yeah, so tan was the 101, which was my least favorite.
There's
That's
not a
what
white on here on this list. It's green, tan, blue, red, yellow, and gray.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So which one is gray? I thought this was gray. So she must be saying this one is tan.
And this one is gray. White is gray.
White was gray. Gray was tan. So
Wait,
tan is 101,
okay. What was white?
which I put as last, and you put as fourth,
4.
and you thought it was Maker's Cask Strength.
Okay, so I got them mixed up.
Okay, so let's. Oh my gosh!
Okay, let's.
All right.
So here we go.
So this is how we're gonna officially do this. We're gonna start with what we rated as number ones, and then reveal what they are.
Okay, I did red.
So blue for you
was number 1.
was number 1, and blue was classic Maker's Mark Rachel Mueller.
That's insane. That's freaking insane.
Well, I put it at number 2.
Okay, so then red we know, which you put number 1 and I put number 2.
So red was number 1. You put it at number 2,
And that was
which
bread
was
pudding.
the bread pudding.
And
That's
I did,
correct.
Okay, so we got.
Bread pudding.
Hold on. So we got Makers out of here. How do I like Makers the best?
Makers
See,
Classic is the best.
And-
Classic is the way to go, my friends.
And then the bread pudding's number 2. We get this out of here. All right. What?
All right.
I had green as number 3.
Green is number 3. I also had green as number 3. So green was the 2020 limited edition.
That's just crazy shit.
So 2020 is out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Which leaves us with 101 Maker's Cask. So I believe I put, what did I put as 4?
4 you put, we called
Gray.
it white.
But it was gray.
It's rated as gray. And I put 4th as yellow. So gray would be the Cask Strength.
Yeah, the
So
40.
Maker's Cask Strength.
No, I think that's the 46.
No, it says Cask Strength 108.8.
Yeah, and the other one is the Cask Strength.
Yellow is 46 Cask Strength. So that was mine. So I put Maker's 46 Cask Strength as number 4. You put
The one
Maker's Cask Strength.
right here, this one.
That one as number 4.
And then Maker's 46 was what color?
Maker's 46 was yellow.
Okay, so that was
Cask Strength.
5.
So you put that one as 5. For me, I put gray as 5, which we were actually saying is tan, is the 101.
And I put 6. I put 6, the 101.
Yeah, you put
101 6.
gray, which is tan, as 101.
Oh my
And
God.
for me, 6th was white, which we're saying is gray, and that was the Cask Strength 108.
So there you go, folks. I mean,
That was
we both
a bit
agreed.
confusing, but
Well,
yes.
but we both agreed in a blind taste test that bread pudding,
Bread pudding was
and Maker's
number
Mark
1.
were 1 and 2 or 2 and 1.
Correct.
I mean, I put Maker's Mark and bread pudding in that order, and you put bread
you
pudding.
did that
in-
with the Old Forester too.
To the
You
100,
had like
yeah.
the Statemans, the whatever it was, the 100.
Yeah, the
Old
100.
Forester 100 as number 2 or number 1 or
Yeah,
something
number
like that.
2. I obviously have.
Oh yeah, because we tied on that one. That one was the 150th edition. Number 2 was number 1.
Yes, and then number 2, I had the 100.
The 100, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but then you had the. I had the anniversary batch 1, number 5, and you had it number 6.
Yeah.
So that's why we like to do these. That's why we love to do these blind tastings, because it really takes away any inhibitions. Now, I would have to say, blind tasting 6 Maker's Marks. The thing that I don't normally get off of a Maker's product is a lot of oak.
Yeah.
And when you started tasting these back to back to back and kind of comparing them, the oak just started coming out like crazy.
Yeah.
Not like so. I wouldn't suggest if you're on an evening, pick one and stick to it.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
would say that. That's what I'd say to that. I'm going to see
I would agree with that.
this this 101, what it tastes like now. Not as oaky. There, like for me, once again, there were no bad bourbons in the batch. I would say there were sweeter bourbons, and I like when it comes to Makers, I like the sweetness of Makers. Now, the one that I thought was no longer sweet, this particular 101 that I rated last, which when I'm drinking it, I do not rate this last, but it got rated last in the blind test, and you got to go by the blind test because you don't know what you're drinking. You're kind of trying, but what was impressive is we did get, once we were able to pull out, I believe, the ones that I pulled out 3. Was it 2 of the 6 that I was able to identify? I know I got bread pudding, and I think I also identified.
Yeah, you got bread pudding correct.
I didn't get the Makers correct, and I didn't get the 101, but I do believe the Cask Strength. What did I have for the Cask Strength? I had that
The
the 46. What was that?
the 46 cast strength you marked as green, and it was actually yellow.
Yellow.
Correct.
Okay.
Green was the 2020 edition, limited edition.
The
So
white.
the only one that you had correct was the bread pudding.
Okay, so I got
Was
that.
red.
Which is crazy because I picked up bread pudding. So I guess if you tell me something and I'm looking for something, I know that the 2020, which was number 3 for me, which I wasn't expecting, which that has a lot of, if you read this, it has vanilla, baking spices, and creamy caramel.
That's which one?
That's the Maker's 2020 Limited.
Oh, okay.
And that got, I would say,
This Maker's 46 cast strength, now that I'm having it solo and rinsed out my glass.
which is it? The red?
This is the, well, no. This is the Maker's 46 cast strength.
What did you do? Rinse out your glass and then
So I rinsed out my glass, I
refilled it?
rinsed out my palette, and then I poured it. And this
Into
is
a
actually
different glass?
Really, no, same glass. Well, same, yeah, different
you poured
glass.
you poured it in the bread pudding
I
glass.
poured it in the bread pudding glass.
So that's
but
probably why it tastes so good now.
No, I rinsed out the bread pudding before I put the 46 in there.
With the wet bar behind.
Yes.
High five.
I'm just gonna say yes. So, but either way,
Is
all
that
of
yellow?
these were actually.
Well, I don't even have to pour more. Let's
you
just
don't
see.
need to know which one was yellow or green or
No,
gray. You
I
just
wanna
rinse
match-
out a bottle of
No, I'm
glass.
gonna match up my glasses so I don't have to rinse the glass.
All right, so Maker's 46 cast strength was yellow,
Yep, and I just had. See, it's very oaky to me.
but pour it now.
I just did.
When?
What do you think I just drank?
Well, pour it again.
What's that gonna do?
It's gonna do everything.
No. What? Because we opened the bottle and it sat in the bottle.
Mhm.
Like the smell. It's cast strength, though. You know what I mean?
But it's not as oaky as it was before. And that's the point that you were just making.
It's
that I'm
leathery.
continuing to make.
It's leathery. It's leathery now. It's not
It's like bootstraps.
tobacco. It doesn't quite make dark chocolate, which I wanted to make.
It still has a linger of sweetness, though.
Oh, I enjoyed. Really, I mean, my least favorite is the 101. But 101, I mean, if you look at this bottle, I bought this bottle. This bottle is all me. I like 101.
Yeah.
And it was my least favorite. So what does that tell you? Makers is a quality product.
They're
So
tricky bastards.
so I was able to get 1 of 6, and John tried to get 1. Or Young Note tried to get 1, and that just didn't work out.
No. That didn't work. I had no idea what one was what.
Right. All we knew was what we liked, and honestly, the blue and the red and the red and the blue,
Yeah.
those are 2 fantastic bourbons. I mean, I
Yeah.
just wasn't
The
expecting
red pudding and
Makers.
Classic Maker's Mark. Yeah. I wasn't expecting Classic Maker's Mark to be as high, but
Sweet and
It-
smooth.
it
It's smooth.
basically just goes to show you that a classic tradition, matured, aged bourbon such as Maker's Mark,
Which I
is
believe
good,
everything's 9
regardless
years,
of what
right?
you compare it to.
If I'm not mistaken, all Makers is 9 years.
6 to 7.
Can
Or
you
5 to 6.
read a little bit? Because we got a little bit of time.
I don't want to read now. I already had all this whiskey in me.
Just give a little bit of history on the distillery.
Okay, so Maker's Mark is located in Loretto, Kentucky. America's first premium specialty bourbon of the modern era. A soft and easy dram, lies hidden in the rolling hills of Marion County. The distillery site is one of Kentucky's oldest. Amid the rolling hills of Marion County, in a broad and fertile hollow with sycamore trees standing sentinel, is the organic cluster of buildings that comprise Maker's Mark Distillery. Maker's Mark occupies one of Kentucky's oldest whiskey-making sites, dating back to 1805, and is designated as National Historic Landmark. The block and red-trim buildings straddle the banks of Hardin Creek, the stream that dissects the serene valley floor of Star Hill Farm. On the road leading down to the creek, the visitors pass the Court House, one of America's oldest remaining retail package stores. In a period before the dark cloud of Prohibition, Marion County neighbors would swing by in their horse and buggy and have their quart jugs filled with the whiskey barrels inside. The special Southern alchemy takes place at Maker's Mark, an alchemy that creates a truly handmade whiskey, America's first premium quality bourbon on the modern era. The president of Maker's Mark is Rob Samuels, who took over from the charismatic and innovative Bill Samuels Jr. in 2011. Samuels is an 8th-generation Kentucky bourbon maker, and the link stretches back to his ancestors, Robert Samuels of the 1780s, neighbor of Baptist preacher, entrepreneur, and pioneer whiskey maker Elijah Craig.
Whoa. Both, like I said, both of us had done the tour. One of the things that Rob Samuels did was that for many, many years, the only thing that Maker's Mark had was they produced Maker's Mark. That's it. It was the premium bourbon. That's what they made. But working recently with the independent stave company, Maker's Mark has done some very, very innovative type stuff. One of the things is their stave program, which we learned about when we took the tour. And it was just pretty much 2019 had just kicked off. And Maker's Mark 46 was Rob's, he used the staves to put into the barrels and then age them after they've been aged their initial amount of time to be Maker's Mark, age them another 8 months with the staves. And then what would happen is they started getting these unbelievable flavors by putting this French toasted oak dropped in. It's still bourbon, folks, because they are toasting the oak and then dropping it in. So it's a new oak stave that's been toasted. So, or charred. It's the toasting and charring. Toasting is below level 1 char, but you're still you're flaming. You're technically charring, but way, way low. But toasting is what they call it.
I like toast.
Yes. So, but then he was dropping these 5, 6. I think it's 6 combination, isn't it? Actually, I'll tell you. Each one on the back. Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 4, 1, 4, 4, 0, 1, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stave combinations, but they could put one of one stave, and the different staves actually. Wait, get this out. I got it. I got my glasses. Hurry. Putting glasses on with
A
one.
great hurrah.
Here we go. They are on. So there's the Maker's 46 stave. There's a seared French cuvee, a baked American puree, roasted French mocha, and a toasted French spice. Those are the different staves, and they put them in different There's 1 toasted French spice, 4 Maker's Mark 46, 4 seared French cuvee, and 1 baked American puree in this bread pudding. So they can put any different combinations that they want, and he was trying to get it so that he could perfect Maker's 46. So the Maker's 46 we were tasting tonight is the Cask Strength, but that was the one that he perfected with 4 of one and 6 of, and that's how he came up with the 46. But while they were doing that, they found out all the different types, and we keep getting these different toasted almond, pecan pie. They keep releasing stave releases that they did when they were doing the experimenting, and it's pretty kind of cool that now you have the Maker's 101. You have the Maker's Cask Strength. You got the 46 Cask Strength. You got the Maker's 46, and then you're coming up with all these different stave programs, limited editions, 2020. They tell you what's it, different higher, different proofs, and they really embellish the Maker's Mark. It's just a delicious bourbon that they keep making better and better.
Yep.